Yeah, we did. We had a good time. We had a good time walking the streets and going to get some candy. Went to a bunch of houses last night. We kind of did some trick or treating for about an hour and a half. So that was a lot of fun just to see Future and Sienna, grabbing candy and going up there to every door together. It was so funny. So it was a good time.
You get recognized, or
Yeah, I tried to wear my mask for a little bit, but then it gets hot, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this thing off. But then it got kind of crazy, so we just try to, just have some fun. We're out with a lot of families that we know, and people that we've been around for a while now. So it's pretty cool just to see, to have two kids, and then also for some of my, like for example, Charlie Martin, as you guys know, Charlie, I'm super close with him and his family, and see their kids, some of my other family friends and stuff, and their kids, just to hang out. It's great.
You had a perfect quarterback rating last week. Did it feel like a perfect performance when you were in the middle of it?
The only thing that matters really is us winning. I think that's always the key. I think that obviously, I think that my goal every time I step on the field is win the football game, and also to play really well would give us a chance to win. So I think that's kind of always been my mindset. So I never really know necessarily the stats or what's going on during the game. I know if we get on a hot streak and certain guys are making plays and stuff like that, but I never really find out till later after the game. So, but it was a great game. I thought the offensive line really did a tremendous job, giving me enough time to make some decisions and throws, and they're doing a tremendous job and giving me enough space and time. And then I think the receivers and tight ends and backs have been electric. I think about Tyler Lockett, he's been on a hot streak. I think about, Doug making a big time catch on, I think it was 2nd and 19, some big plays that we had that they gave me a lot of time on those. The running backs, like I said, have been explosive. Think about David Moore and what he's been doing, making plays all over the field, and then Ed to get in the game for the first time and play the first time and score a touchdown and go up high and go grab it was amazing. So I think the reality is that we got a lot of playmakers, and like I've always said, my goal is just to give the ball to the right guy at the right time and continue to just facilitate it and just have a lot of fun while doing it. And so we're having a lot of fun right now.
What impressed you most about David Moore this season?
Well, I think David Moore, he's always been an amazing athlete. He's been a guy that you notice, when he's running around catching the football. I think that his mentality has been the thing that has really showed up, from preseason, actually from this offseason. David and I were able to spend some time this offseason in LA and just talk and throw and stuff like that, and grab some dinner and just spend some time. And he was a guy that he's always been the guy who always wants to learn more and get as much catches as he can in the offseason, just do the right things and prepare the right way, and just his mentality was right from the get-go. I think also too, like I said, his mentality in the meetings has been great. He's enjoying football. He's out there every day running around full speed making plays. So he's a special football player.
quarterback, when your receivers are making those contested catches where they look fairly covered, but they're winning the jump balls, whatever. How much does that help you and have that confidence in them?
Well, the thing about the National Football League, if a guy's blanketed, he's really open. Really for the most part in this league. When guys are covered, it seems like, that's as open as it usually gets. So you got to be able to make accurate throws, and ultimately you got to have guys that can go make plays, and we got guys that can make a lot of plays. So it's been fun to just be a part of that and just watch those guys do their thing. It's a tribute to how hard they work and all the things they've been doing.
You've talked before about the offseason in LA and working with Paul Richardson, for instance, and now you're talking about David Moore, the same thing. What do you get out of those? And then in more specific case, did he seek you out, or how did you arrange all that?
Well, it was a while ago, but I think, first of all, to answer your first part of the question, I think, the best thing about the off season is it keeps you in the right state of mind. It keeps your mentality right. You always want to keep fine tuning. I think that's the biggest thing. In my opinion, you never want to leave the game too long. For me personally, I try not to leave it, more than a couple weeks at the beginning, right after the season, maybe, if whatever. But I really try to just constantly be thinking about the game. But I also think that to be able to throw and catch, it's our craft. It's what we do, for a living. And so it's one of the greatest gifts in the world. And so you have to continue to use that gift. I think the thing that makes the offseason so great, though, is, one, the bonding part of it, just to get to know guys a little bit more. When we're here, you get here early in the morning at 5:30, and then you're here till 7 or so, and you go home. It's pretty much, so you kind of get in a rhythm of kind of the same thing, consistent things. But that's a good thing to be consistent in that way. But you never really get to experience the rest of life all the time, with each other. So to be able to do that in the off season is always great, and you get to figure out what drives guys, what drives you continually figure out what's continually driving you. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it's the same thing, sometimes it just continues to mold into something even more. And just to see all the things that David Moore has been able to do this offseason and then translate it really honestly to the field and also in the classroom has been exceptional. And so it's a tribute to him and his hard work. It has nothing to do with me, really. It's just him being a great football player. God has really gifted him with a lot of talent, and he's using that talent to the fullest of his capabilities. So it's exciting just to have a teammate like that.
Did he seek you out in particular this offseason?
Yeah, we talked both back and forth. Just wanting to get together. And that usually happens with all of our receivers, really, mostly in our running backs too, and tight ends. So we're just always constantly talking about it. And hey, when can we get together? What do you guys think? Hey, how about this week? How about this weekend? Or how about this couple weeks? So we're constantly just talking about it.
Seems like you guys have sort of gotten off to some better starts. Maybe last year it seemed like there was a lot of first quarters that were sort of rough. It seems like this year you guys have done a lot better in the first quarter and kind of getting out of the gate. Anything you can put your finger on for why that is?
Well, I think a few things. I think offensive line is doing a tremendous job of really allowing us to run the football and also be physical at the point of attack. I think the additions of guys like DJ Fluker and obviously J.R. Sweezy, a Super Bowl champ, a guy who's been here before. He knows the mentality of how we want to play, and just ultimately he's a champ. He's done it before. I think having Dwayne here all year, has been great all off season, just being around him, and Justin Britt obviously as well. He's more and more years, him playing center, and he's just gonna get better and better. He's as good as it gets. And then Fetty too as well. His maturation has been unbelievable this year, and just his growth and how he's blocking some of the best guys in the world. So I think it's really a tribute to those guys in the offensive line, how we're starting and how we're finishing games and everything. And then I think also, too, I think, Coach Mike Solari is doing a great job with coaching those guys and what we're trying to do there. But also, Coach Schottenheimer has done a tremendous job of just really mixing it up and having diversity and a continual diversity in our play game and play action game and a running game and everything else. I think I've always said this, though. At the end of the day, playing football, just like playing basketball or playing baseball, whatever, it just really comes down to making plays. There's a lot of things that people want to make it about this or that, and yeah, some of those things, statistically may be true or whatever. But at the end of the day, when the ball's in the air and it's one-on-one, you make the play or you don't. Or when we get the block one-on-one or a third down situation, do you make it or do you not? And so I think that ultimately, we've been able to make a lot of plays, and it's just continual hard work and focus on what we want to do.
When you have the deep ball threats that you do with your wide receivers
Yeah.
and the ability for the explosives, how does that give you maybe even a mental break in the game, knowing that if you need to take the shot, you can take it and be successful?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think that, to be able to take explosive shots down the field is always key. Being smart while doing it, though, and knowing the time and the place and knowing the situational football. And then also it comes down to great trust and belief, and I think, like I said, you got one-on-one matchups. You're taking a go ball down the sideline. You're taking a deep post, or taking a guy running across the field, or whatever it may be. You're taking a shot down the field. It comes down to a lot of hard work, but it also comes down to a lot of trust and belief in those guys making the plays. And how could I not trust David Moore? How could I not trust Tyler? How could I not trust Doug to make those plays? JB too as well, making a lot of plays for us right now. So those guys, they're explosive in that way. And then don't forget about our backs, who can make a lot of plays too in the run game and also the pass game too. So I think about the addition of Ed's going to be really big for us too. Not just in the run game, but really the pass game and him catching the football down the field. I think Nick Vanette's always been able to catch the ball really well. So we got a lot of good things going. So we just want to keep our heads down and keep working.
Russ, talking about this matchup against these Chargers, kind of what jumps out to you the most about this defense?
Well, I think first of all, Ingram's one of the best defensive ends in the game. He's a spectacular player. He's one of the he's always one of my favorite guys to play against and just watch, just because you want to play against some of the best guys, you know, and just he's always I don't like it when he's chasing me though, but he's always one of those guys that just I've known him for several years now, just to be around him and stuff at Pro Bowls or whatever it may be, and just he's got great enthusiasm, plays the game the right way, brings great energy. You know, he's a really good player, so we got to know where he is. You know, I think about Derwin James too as well. He's playing great football. You know, those guys are. You know, Casey's a great player too. They got a lot of guys that can make a lot of plays, and then obviously Mebane, you know, up front. You know, just knowing him and his intelligence and how he plays the game, his physicality at the point of attack. So it's going to be a very tough task. They're really rolling too. I think they're 5-2. They made a lot of plays. They got Phillip Rivers on the other side. You know, one of the best to ever play the game. So it'll be a battle of Wolfpack, I guess, this weekend. But he's a you know, just to know playing against Phil and just the things he's been able to do over his career, he's been spectacular. So it's going to be a battle for sure.
Scored touchdowns in 60 or 70 games so far this year. What do you think's enabled him to be so consistent getting in the end zone for you? It's such a threat in that regard this year, and what he's able to play with.
Well, I think the thing about Tyler is he's always been explosive when he catches the football. You know, even when he touches the football, whether it's a run, whether it's a kick return, punt return, since day one he's been that. And you know, the way he trains during practice is the thing that's evident. But you know, I think that reality is he's finally healthy. You know, he's kind of got bumped and bruised the year before, and last year I think he was wearing the knee brace, if I'm right. And you know, so he's really at his top speed right now, really rolling, which his top speed is pretty fast. So he's making a lot of plays, and he loves the game. You know, it's good to have him on our team, that's for sure. You know, another thing too, I think about even Doug. You know, the great thing is we haven't even really gotten him quite fully going yet. So when we get him going, you know, I'm excited about that part of it too. So he's a real threat. You know, he's a superstar in the league. So that's another thing we want to be able to catch fire with and believe that we can do that. You know, I think I always go back to 2015 when Doug and I got in a hot streak. You know, so I always say why not? You know, that may happen soon.
Into a game, trying to get Baldwin more involved?
I think about getting all of our players involved. I don't necessarily just say, okay, this necessarily, you know, today I'm going to do this, you know. But I just play the game how it comes. But I also think about, you know, you always want players, not necessarily plays. You know, I think, you know, at the end of the day, when I say that, I mean, you know, there's some players that can just make some crazy plays, and Doug's one of those guys. You know, he's going to make highlights all day. So, you know, you want to get him the football for sure.
What's been the key to your red zone success this year? The numbers have clearly gone up so far.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the offensive line, first of all, with our run game, but then also them giving me enough time to make some decisions on the passing game, really throw the ball and make a lot of plays in the red zone. We've been lights out in the red zone, so you know, we want to stay that way. You know, we have that mentality, and I think it's an attack mentality. You know, we want to go for it. You know, we're not waiting. You know, we got to go and just continue to have that mentality. We got playmakers, so the guys who usually show up, you know, on game days and stuff like that in the red zone. Those are the guys who play the game for a long time, and I think, you know, we got a lot of those guys who can do that on the offensive side of the ball in terms of that. And, you know, our defense helps too. You know, playing against our defense every day in practice. I mean, one of the top defenses in the National Football League right now. I don't know, they're definitely top 3, top 4, top 5, something like that, I'm sure. So to be able to go against those guys every day always prepares us. Guys like Bobby Wagner, you know, Tedrick back there, you know, McDougal, the defensive line, those guys, Frank every day. I mean, not much better than that. So, you know, Griff on the edge, you know, playing corner. So I mean, it's fun every day. We get to practice against the best in the world every day. So it prepares us in the right way.
Does the streak you're on kind of with Tyler right now feel any similar to the one you were on with Doug in 2015?
Yeah, I don't really think about it during the moment. You know, you just play. You know, you play, and if Steph Curry's hot, you keep throwing it to him, and you know, if Klay Thompson's hot, you keep giving it to him. So I'm looking forward to you know, Doug being our KD and getting hot here soon too. So you know, I think that we got those guys that can make a lot of plays. You know, and so you know, looking forward to it. We just want to stay the course. You know, and keep our heads down. We got one game to win, and that's this one this week.
You guys have for years since you've been here, had one of the best home field advantages in the league. You're playing a team that has at its home stadium sometimes half of the stadium with the opposing fans. I guess from a quarterback's perspective, what's it like playing in front of a home crowd that kind of knows when to quiet down, when to like let you guys do your thing, and then as opposed to playing on the road when they're being hostile and just giving you some.
Well, you gotta love playing here. You know, it's advantage us. It's, you know, we get to play against the, you know, we get to play with the best fans in the world. You know, literally, you know, the loudest fans. You know, they know the game really well, and football really matters here. You know, you know, it's championship football every time you get to come into the stadium and play. You know, so. You know, it's always exciting. You know, I think that the thing as a quarterback, I think that the guys who've played the game for a long time, and guys like Philip Rivers, the great ones like that, they don't get flustered by that. You know what I mean? I think they look forward to those moments. But I do think that for most players and most teams, it can be hectic, and it can be loud. You can't hear. You don't pick up the signals. You miss something, and then advantage us. Boom, the ball's going the other way with our defense. You know, so those are kind of moments that happen a lot. So, you know, I think there's you know, and then when we go on the road, I look forward to playing on the road just because you know, you get to, one, our fans travel well, but two, I think also, you know, it's sometimes when you pack up and go and you get to go on a trip and with the fellas and go try to win, you know, a game, and you get to win that game, mission's accomplished, and come home. You know, those are some of the best memories you have on the plane back. You know, and so we want to keep having those memories.
Anything else? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.